We've all been talking about AI lately. New tools, new workflows, all the hype. And yes, technology is exciting. But in the middle of that noise, it's easy to forget about the tools that have already been elevating our work for years. Which brings me to Corona 14th. It reminds us why Corona Renderer is still one of the best out there. It's simple, artist first, and gets out of our way so we can focus on real craft. Mood, story, and emotions. No overcomplicating, no tech gymnastics, just pure, beautiful visual storytelling. I remember when building large-scale aerials was always a headache. The scenes were so complex and heavy. You needed a powerful machine just to open the file, never mind actually working on it. With Gaussian splatting, that hassle is gone. Instead of a mesh, the scene is represented as millions of smooth colored points that blend together, producing a lightweight, continuous 3D environment. Corona now supports this technique, and you can import it directly into the software. It offers extensive controls to tailor the model to your needs. We can change the intensity to adjust to our scene, or add tint color if we need to. You can easily place buildings in context and render complex 3D environments with accurate reflections and refractions. We have some color correction values to change too, like brightness or contrast. We can also adjust saturation, hue, and gamma. As well as temperature and green magenta tint. All of these features are here to help us to adjust it to the model we have in the scene. I really like that we can apply LUTs and curves to it directly in the Gaussian Splats settings. We can also decide whatever we want specific post-processing options affect our Gaussian splat or not. Plus, we also have rendering options similar to the one we have with Corona lights, for instance. Now we can create large-scale projects without worrying about the heavy scenes. If you want to learn more about this technique, you can watch my video where I explain it in more details using V-Ray. Chaos doesn't stay behind and gives us AI solutions too, and offers a bunch of AI workflows. In the past, I often struggled to find maps that match the designer's vision, especially in the interior projects where the patterns needed to be quite specific, or when samples provided were too small or repetitive to use. Plus, without maps like normals, achieving realism can be difficult. If that's the case, AI Material Generator can come handy, because even with many high-quality resources available, sometimes you simply can't find exactly what you need. It may not nail the exact look, but it's great for mid and background use. Start by loading the texture you want and tweaking the basic settings. If you need it to tile, make sure the tiling option is enabled. To get it working properly, use Smart Pattern. From there, you can control how bumpy and how glossy the material should be. Nothing complicated. Click Generate and let it process. In my case, it took roughly 40 seconds to produce a material. It might not be perfect, but it's often more than good enough. Download your material and drop it into the scene to preview. We can always make a few quick adjustments. Done, clean result, and it fits nicely. 3D people used to be weak spot in renders. I'd avoid them, especially in the foreground, because they just didn't look believable. Cutouts? Also pain. Every time you changed the camera, you were back in Photoshop. But that's the past. AI changed the game. You probably saw what's possible with the AI enhancer in my V-Ray video. What you might not expect is how much control you can have, and how fast. So let's put it to work. In Corona, you can now fine-tune specific objects, people and vegetation by dialing in traits like age, ethnicity, clothing style, even refining vegetation for consistency. Firstly, click on the person or plant and add a new layer. Then, pick your settings, how strong the effect should be, the age group, male or female. Want something specific? Change just that. For example, let's swap hair color. I'm also pushing the story here. The girl's laughing, so I want her grandpa to smile more too. Let's set up the girl as well. Same idea. Oh, and if you like the pose but need a different ethnicity, no problem. You can adjust that without reposing or re-rendering. For vegetation, choose how strict you want to be. If you need things super precise, go lower on the creativity. If you can let the AI explore a bit, bump it up. In my tests, it did a great job. Results? People look way more realistic compared to the original render. More skin detail, better clothing textures, the hair looks better. The grandpa got a nice boost. Check the hair and the smile. That was the goal. And the kid? Her face reads much more natural. Love it! I can't wait for even more control in future versions. But even right now, this is easily one of my favorite features in this release. The great news is you can send your LightMix result to the AI enhancer, not just the beauty pass. Just make sure you have the LightMix render element selected in the VFB before clicking AI enhancer. In client work, I always prioritize quality over speed. But many times, you have to balance both because of the nature of the project. With AI Upscaler, you don't. Focus on quality, render a smaller frame, then upscale in seconds. Right now, you can go 2 times or 4 times. So a 3K render becomes 6K in about 5 minutes. And it's not just bigger. Upscaler sharpens textures and details for a more polished result. I love that. AI should empower your creativity, but on your terms. If your studio has strict policies, you can now disable AI-powered tools. Whether it's protecting sensitive data, avoiding copyright risks, or meeting client requirements, you can work with confidence. Fabric materials are some of the hardest to create, not only because they are complex, but also because it's tough to find the exact pattern you need. With the new procedural fabric material in Corona, many of these issues disappear. We can generate a wide range of patterns and tailor them to our needs. We've got multiple presets. I'll start with couch. From there, we can pick a weave pattern. I'll choose twill. There are plenty of settings to tweak, like weft repeats. This controls how many strands each warp is split into. We can also adjust tiling horizontally and vertically and set the overall scale of the pattern. Yarn strands can be adjusted separately too. We can remove it completely by typing 0. For example, PLs controls how many piles each strand of yarn is composed of. One of the best part is the color controls. We can choose different colors for weft and warp and adjust the yarn appearance settings. For example, we can adjust the roughness of the surface, where 0 means something close to a mirror-like surface and 1 makes the surface completely diffuse. With all these options, we can create countless pattern variations. This is one of my favorite features in Corona 14. It makes life so much easier. Of course, we can use some maps to make the material even more realistic and diverse. It's a similar story for satin fabrics. We can tweak them however we like. And we can also layer in maps to push the creativity even further. Such a nice tool. Tell me the better storyteller than the night sky. Stars, moon, the Milky Way. Good news! In Corona, we can get this dreamy night look super easy. Let me show you. First, set up Corona sun and sky. Drop the sun below the horizon to flip the scene to night. Want the moon? Add a Corona moon object and place it wherever it feels cinematic. Now hop to Environment and Effects and copy your Corona sky. You'll see a new tab at the bottom. This is where the magic lives. Enable stars. They're faint at first, so bump the intensity multiplier. There we go. You can tweak the size multiplier if you want chunkier or finer stars. I like the default, so I'll leave it, to control how much tiny stars differ from bright ones. Use size difference. 0 means no difference, 1 means maximum difference. Raising this value will help reveal the Milky Way. Increase it, and you'll see the band come through. Need to aim at the Milky Way. Adjust the latitude and longitude to rotate it into your composition. Easy. You'll notice the moon is already selected in the Night Sky tab, but maybe you don't see it yet. Why? Because the moon acts like a light? So go to LightMix and enable its layer. Here we go. In the Corona Moon settings, we can control how the moon will look in the sky. We can adjust the amount of light the moon casts into your scene with illumination intensity. By increasing the disk brightness, we affect the brightness of the moon object in the sky. We can also control the glow in the sky from the moon. Size will affect how big the moon is. And by typing different values, we can get different moon phases. 0 means full moon, 90 is first quarter, 180 is new moon, and 270 means last quarter. With the Corona night sky, we can easily switch from a daylight scene to a beautiful nighttime scenario. Corona 14th combines artists' creativity with AI and procedural tools to help us bring ideas to life quicker and with more emotional storytelling. It's still our vision, just supercharged. So what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't tried yet, or your license is about to expire, now is a great time. Chaos is running 20% off selected products for Black Friday from November 17th to December 1st. Link in the description. Bye bye!